like the key focus is on the root chakra, or on grounding. And this whole week we've been trying to think around like what does it mean to ground one's energy or ground one's own energetic field, and perhaps what are some of the things that you can do almost on a daily, or maybe just try to ritualize it for your own self, so that you can always try to make sure that you've got your field in check, because you're always getting in different spaces and living different spaces, but then the traces of the energies then that live with us have a way of affecting us, whether they're subtle or not, but they always have ways of lingering within our field. Maybe we can start with ukuphalaza. Ukuphalaza as to kneel down, to appreciate and recognize that you are a child of the earth, that you come from the earth, that there is no separation between you and the earth. The earth is the great mother. We are the mother's offsprings. The earth is a womb. The earth is a space where we can dream collectively. So this position is always so important for all of us, because it teaches us again that we are still children, that we always have to ask the earth to show us things, that we always have to ask these sacred teachers to communicate things to us so that we can remember again. I think the quest again is always to come back into totality and to live a life where you recognize that there is no separation, there is no difference between you and the next person. Perhaps this is also something that's very important in assisting ourselves to ground ourselves, or at least maybe to ground the consciousness first, because especially in this time where like there's so much chaos, so much happening in the outside world that is determining how we feel inside of us, it's really important that we take back our power, or we tap back into our own frequency or our own current. If we can understand ourselves as streams of energy, and each stream always has a current, and this current is what actually determines your currency. Then if we take back our power, if we tap back, or we tap back into our own current, then you can live within the abundance of your own self. I feel like this is something that's really, really important for all of us to remember. And ukuphalaza gets us close to that. Like, you can't harm anyone in this position. You can't harm anyone in a kneeling position. So it's important that each day we kneel down. Perhaps it's also why this particular position is favored for praying, and knowing that praying is in itself a calling or conjuring of light. In isiXhosa, the word for praying, we have the word ukuthandaza. Ukuthandaza is a compound word. Ta means light, or ta means light ray, or ray of light. Ndaza means come or have come. So ukuthandaza literally becomes a calling of light to come into this space. It's also important that maybe more than ever now in this time, we really try to work on cleansing. Cleansing is a way of recalibrating the physical body, or umzimba. So that's what the body is called in isiXhosa, umzimba, uMzi+Mba, which also means that an enclosed vehicle. So if what we are in is a vehicle, then what does it house? Then it's prana, umoya, it's spirit. But now what do you do with the vehicle? Or what are some of the things that you can do to calibrate the vehicle so that you know that at all given times it's always in harmony with the spirit? Then cleansing becomes that kind of practice that you can integrate into your own everyday lifestyle to make sure that, okay, I don't have too much acids in my body, I don't have excess mucus in my body, and those two things actually are some of the things that do not allow us to vibrate in the ways that we need to vibrate. And it's so important then, especially if we're thinking about the root chakra and where it is, or where it sits in the body. So you eat food, right? And then it goes down, or from your mouth down to your throat, and then into the stomach. And then the stomach processes and breaks down everything, and then it takes out all the key nutrients or energy that it needs, and then everything else that it feels like is waste or maybe is no longer needed, it expels it. So also these are very, very important parts of the body. making sure that this bit or umqala is also cleansed. The stomach area is also cleansed, but also not only just the stomach area, the rectum as well, because that's the last entry point where the excess waste leaves your body. We'll speak about maybe 3 technologies that people can tap into. One is known as ukuphalaza or purging. The importance of that is to say maybe even if you do try your best to take an acid-free diet, like your body still produces mucus. Okay, so you have what they call the aura or subtle bodies around you. In isiXhosa, we have an expression that says umuntu unamanwele. Say, for instance, you feel something, and then like your small hairs like around these parts, you know, like they just like start standing, you know. So that's also a very, very physical way of telling you that something has just penetrated or entered your energetic field. So now you need to be aware of what's happening, be it your own emotions or your own thoughts, or also maybe check on people who are around you. So ukufutha also assists you in cleansing your own energetic field, because we leave the space that you're in, that you hold, that you consider to be sacred. But the moment you leave the house, you meet other people who are also working with different kinds of energies, and also perhaps some are not balanced, some are not aligned, some are what maybe now we use as the word toxic, but I rather choose to say not balanced, you know, because you know that there could be ways where you can rework the field. So ukufutha also just allows you to remove all the subtle energies that are still within your own field, and those kinds of energies, more than anything else, they really affect us on the psychic level. Like you all of a sudden feeling depressed or feeling down or feeling as though you don't have strength and energy, you know. It's all of that energy that's orbiting in your field that you carry with you everywhere you go, but never really give yourself some time to really work on it. Sure, you wash the body, but that kind of washing only, say, removes dirt. But now we're trying to look into the subtle energetic particles that you work with and how do you cleanse those. We said 3 forms, right? How many did we share? We shared 2? Oh. We shared ukuphalaza,
yes,
ukufutha. Oh yes, then probably now the most important, ukucima. It's a very contentious topic. It's a very contentious topic, yes, because again, being tied too much to the physical body, being too tied too much to the physical body. But essentially, ukucima has to do with cleansing the rectum. Say, if this place or this organ or this part of our bodies that we consider to be the rectum is the one that carries all the excess food constantly from our body, it can't be clean. Like, it really can't be clean. It's probably our most dirtiest part of the body. But it's important because the rectum as an opening, because we have ports, so everything that's created outside of us is a representation of what the body is. We have ports, your port, your eyes, your mouth, your nose, your ears, and also your rectum, because these are the points where information or energy enters the system. So the rectum now being where it is, because when you're sitting on your bum, you can almost feel it on the earth. So that's also a very important aspect, because once the rectum is clean and it's almost as if like it's your own umbilical cord back to the earth, if it's clean, the grounding energy or the magnetic field of the earth is able to enter you through your rectum to your root chakra. From your root chakra, then it starts spiraling up the ladder of lights or the different kinds of energetic centers. So if you cleaned that bit of your own body, then you know that, especially doing this kind of exercise with the yoga, you find that you really start to harness the energy and build it up towards you. Also another meditation that we've been receiving this word coming back, and it's Sushumna. And I just did a quick Google search and I was like, whoa. So Sushumna is the energy pathway, literally, that moves from the rectum to your crown. So you have your masculine energy orbiting in one side and you have your feminine orbiting one side, and then the 2 serpents almost kind of like spiral out. Sushumna then is the direct link between them. That's the space or the line or the pathway that these two energies are orbiting around. So it's the real direct link to consciousness. So the moment you have the rectum cleaned up, then you know that, okay, the rectum, the stomach, and also the physical body, then you know that whatever energy that you have, you know, is already very, it's clean, but also the vehicle is clean. So it's very important that we synthesize the vehicle, especially in these times. A lot of people are falling sick. They're falling sick because of these simple but yet complex things, because they really determine how we vibrate and where can we project our own consciousness.